Well, good afternoon from Sweetwater here. Well, we have a little bit of a treat today. The camera can see it. We have beautiful blue skies, some white puffy clouds in between, and it is just a real treat to be able to be outside in a short sleeve shirt and not have to trench through all of the mud and water and winds blowing sideways. So the pastures are going to try to dry up today, and maybe the garden will dry up a little bit, and we'll be able to get into that garden early next week and get that planted. We're a week behind, but no big deal. There's a lot I would like to share today regarding Luke chapter 20. Little late getting this particular video out, but we came off of last week's, or 2 weeks ago that I taught our class, we came off of the parable that Jesus had, and as he was talking to the Pharisees about the vineyard. If you did not see that video, you can go one back and see what I had to share about the vineyard and what Jesus was expressing and sharing with these Pharisees at that time. And he was basically addressing them. He was addressing them in that I sent, Yahweh sent prophet after prophet after prophet to talk and to interact with Israel, and they rejected, and they beat up, and they murdered and threw away the prophets that I sent. And Jesus had a direct parable to them, representing the example of what is taking place even right now. The Son has come. The vineyard owner finally sent his beloved Son. And what are they going to do to him? He's the heir. They're going to kill him and throw him off to the side. Well, the Pharisees got grossly upset, and they knew that he was talking about them, and they said, no, this will never happen. Okay? Basically, they have rejected the cornerstone. They have rejected the capstone. And if you're not familiar with big stone buildings, there's one big stone that's placed in the corner, and the whole building is built off of that square corner. And that's what keeps the building square. That's what gives the building the direction of where it's going to sit when it's all complete and done. Everything is built off of that cornerstone for the entire building, whether it be a cathedral or a palace or some kind of magnificent stonework that was accomplished years and years, centuries ago in this country and in Europe, of course. So the stone the builders rejected has become the capstone, is what Jesus expressed to them. Now, the scene has changed. Perhaps it's the same day. There's not many days here before the crucifixion. This is the Passion Week, as we already shared before. And now another group of people come up to Jesus. They're called the Herodians. And these people were they were associated with Herod. The Herodians is what they're the proper way to say it. And this group of people, more of a political group, not a religious group, but a political group, they also are going to come and question Jesus about taxation. Taxation has been a major subject since society has existed. Giving money to the government so that the government can continue on and build infrastructure and rule and govern properly. Well, taxation's always a sour thing with most of us. But if you just come and accept what it is and you pay your due, you just move on. But anyhow, the Herodians, who were, associated with Herod and were supporters of them, they wanted to come now and ask Jesus a question. And they came before him. Now, understand, though, that there's two groups of people here. The teachers of the law, verse 19 of chapter 20. The teachers of the law and the chief priest looked for a way to arrest him, Jesus, immediately, because he knew that he had spoken against them in the parable of the vineyard. Okay? So now, keeping a close eye on him, on Jesus, they sent spies. It says here, they sent spies who were pretending to be honest. They hoped to catch Jesus in something he said, so they might be able to hand him over to the authorities. to the power and authorities of the governor. So the spies questioned him. So here we have a group of people that are a political sect, a political group of people that basically support Herod and are associated with him and are a spokesman for him to a point, and they're going to come now and present a question to Jesus. And because they're always trying to put him in the corner. And remember, Jesus is getting multiple different groups through this week that continue to come and question him for the things that he's doing and for the statements that he makes. And they're not agreeing with what he's doing. They're not accepting him as the Messiah, and they want to continue to try to belittle him. They haven't learned yet. You cannot belittle Jesus Christ. He's the ultimate debater. That's just the reality of it is. He's the Son of the living God. He's God himself. He walked on water. He calmed the storms. He fed the thousands with a small amount of food. They're not getting it. So they come before him with a question, okay? And the question is this: Teacher, we know that you speak and teach what is right, and that you do not show Jesus, I'm sorry, the English language is not my thing. It should be, right? Jesus is not showing a particular favor to any group, is what they're trying to express here. But you teach the way of God in accordance with the truth. Here's the question: is it right for us to pay taxes to Caesar or not? Jesus, in the next verse, he saw through their duplicity and said to them, show me a denarius. Whose portrait is on it? They responded, it's Caesar's. Caesar's portrait is imprinted on the coinage that we use today. Jesus in return says, he said to them, then give to Caesar what is Caesar's, and give to God what is God's. Okay, there's a lot in that one verse. We see a group of people who are coming and trying to trip up Jesus Christ, the eternal God. They haven't got it yet, and they come before him and they're pretending to be engaging with him in a qualified way. They're pretending to be interested in what he had to say and how he's going to respond. They are posers. And Jesus sees right through their duplicity of their heart. I did a video right before this one about integrity and about duplicity. It was on my mind and heart for some time, and I made a video right before this one regarding that whole subject of integrity. This group is not demonstrating any integrity at all. It says it right here. Jesus saw right through their duplicity. And just to talk about that briefly, I talked a lot about it before, so I won't be redundant in it. Jesus Christ does not want a heart that's divided. Jesus Christ wants a heart that is singularly invested in himself. And as that heart moves forward and grows and learns more of Scripture and becomes more of an intimate relationship with their eternal God, with Jesus Christ, their heart will be singular. And our hearts will become singular through the direction of the Spirit of God and how he teaches us, how he expresses various truths to us, and other things won't be of interest, but we'll start solely focusing on what Christ wants us to do and invest within our own lives for him. And it takes a heart that's singular to do that. You cannot have a heart that is divided. You cannot respond and act this way in this group and then this way in that group according to what peers you're around. No, you are a consistent human being, and your heart is consistent because you have a love of Christ there. So Jesus saw this group of people, and it says right here that he saw right through their duplicity. And their question is, Jesus, is it right to pay taxes? Is it right to pay taxes to our government that we live under? And Jesus is saying, show me a coin. Show me a denarius. And this is Laramie, and she's looking at the camera. She sees herself. This is my barn cat, and she does a wonderful job. She keeps the rodents down. It's incredible. Okay, not to get off subject. Whose image is on that coin? Well, it's Caesar's. Jesus says, well, if it's Caesar's, and this is the currency that you use within the society that you engage in, if this is the respected coinage, if this is the respected currency that Caesar set up so that you can do commerce with, and you can trade and barter and buy and sell and receive this currency and then use it for something else, if Caesar's the one who set this all up, and this currency that you use today, and you respect it, then give to Caesar what is Caesar's. Give to the government what is due theirs. They have established this. They have put this currency out there, and it's honored by the general public, and it's used to conduct business, and it's used to purchase things for your household and for your business. Well, you're respecting it. The one who set it up, give to him what is due to him. So basically, yeah, pay taxes to Caesar, okay? Now, there were the tax collectors, and of course they took advantage of the people, and that's a whole other subject and a whole other story, but Jesus put them right back in their place. You see, they were trying to set Jesus Christ up so that he would bring back a question, he would answer it in such a way that they could bring him before the Roman government as treason, or they can bring him before the Roman government with trying to, rile up a group to overthrow the Roman government. But Jesus already distinguished that. Dismissed that is the word. He already dismissed it when he came into Jerusalem, as we shared before, riding on the colt of a donkey. And he already made a public example of what he's here for. I am here. I am the Messiah. I am here to bring peace, and I'm not going to overthrow the Roman government. But they're still trying to lure him in so that they can have something, so they can put him in handcuffs and send him to the governor. Jesus gets right around their question one more time. Whose image is it? It's Caesar's. He's the one who set up the currency. Honor it. Okay? Honor it. But here's the other thing that Jesus says right on the conclusion of this, okay? And give to Caesar's what is Caesar's, and to God what is God's. Now, isn't that incredible? Listen to this. Jesus adds this one thing to the whole conversation, because they didn't bring anything up about a relationship with the eternal God. They were just bringing up something about taxes so they can put Jesus in a corner and present him to the governor for, acting in treason or some other unlawful thing. But what does Jesus always do? He brings it back. He brings the question back to humanity. And he asks the question, are you with me or are you against me? Okay, he already shared previously about how the vineyard keepers were against God, and they didn't care about the prophets, and they certainly don't care about Jesus Christ. And they're going to present him before the governor in a couple of days, and he will be crucified on our behalf for our precious redemption. But he brings the question back to the individual. And give to God what is God's. How are we made? Whose image do we bear? We are the only created being on this earth that bears the image of God. You see, as the coin bear the image of Caesar, and our currency today bears the image of George Washington or Lincoln, all the different great men that founded this wonderful country we live in. We have the image of God imprinted upon us in our soul, in our heart. And the reality is, Jesus wants our heart. He wants a singular heart devoted to him, because he's the one who created us. He's the one who made us. And he's the one that wants us to be drawn closer to him. And how is it that we become closer to our God? We come and understand through the Word of God what it is that how God operates, somewhat of how God thinks. But we are made in his image So just as he told this group of people to give to Caesar's, what is due to the governor, he's talking to them now and said, and give to God what is God's, what is due to God. Us, we have the imprint of God upon our hearts, upon our souls. We are made in his image, and we are to give to him our life back. Give to Caesar what is Caesar's, give to God what is God's. We are made in his image. We represent God, so we need to live in a way that we represent him well. And he tripped them up in the question about the coinage, and of course, when he said, and give to God what is God's, that went right over their head. And it says in verse 26, they were unable to trap him, of course, in what he had said there in public, and they were astonished by his answer. And what happened? They became silent. Group after group after group tried to put Jesus Christ into a corner, and group after group became dismissed and put away. And this group, not only did Jesus answer the question about paying taxes correctly, he went one more step further, as he always does, and brings right back to the condition of the human heart. And he emphasizes the point, give to God what is God's. So I hope you understand that particular text, and I hope that's something that hits home with you, because there's no greater life than giving one's heart to Christ. There's no greater opportunity or joy that we could have in giving our heart to our Creator, giving back to our Creator what is due to him, and that is ourselves. Well, until next week, we get into this next passage of Luke chapter 20. We'll sign off here at Sweetwater. So continue your studies, continue deeply in prayer before your God, and ask things of him, and then get quiet and listen for his answers, even if it takes a lifetime to get an answer, or a year or a month or so. Continue to be faithful to God, and that's all God's asking us to do, is to be faithful to him. Well, until next time, we'll see you back here at Sweetwater. Have a great day.